Hey everyone, I hope everyone's doing good. FrozenToes here, and I'm with one of eNASCAR Heat Pro League hopefuls who has moved on to the next round. His name is Anthony Lord, who you probably know as MrSlideJob1996. Now this guy has 14 league wins, including one All-Star win. His average finish in the league is 4.6. His total online races are 1,702 with 1,648 top 10s and 572 wins. So this guy knows how to win. So a huge welcome to Mr. Slide Job. I gotta ask you, how you doing tonight?
Doing pretty well.
It's great to have you here. So let's get right into it. I know you were actually on vacation, so he doesn't even have an Xbox with him. He is out here just coming in here to give an interview. So it's cool to have you here. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of nice getting a little bit of a clear head before we get to this preseason.
There you go. All right, so first question, where are you from?
Well, it's a good question. I am from a small town of 300 people in southeastern New York. It's called Pine Bush.
Oh, wow.
Most people haven't really heard of it, but yeah, it's definitely tucked in that little southeast corner there.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. So have you lived there your whole life or have you moved around?
I lived there pretty much most of my life. I moved there when I was like 3, and I moved out of there recently to go to college. I live now in northwestern, New York now.
Nice.
Going to college, but yeah.
Very cool. And what got you into NASCAR?
Oh, well, from a really, really young age, my father was a huge NASCAR fan, and the joke was that if I was born 2 weeks later, my dad would not have been in the hospital because he would have been watching the Daytona 500. So he kind of brought me up on it, taking me to races, both NASCAR and dirt tracks, getting me interested in diecast and just the whole racing scene. So growing up, huge influence, and then working on cars with him and learning that whole thing. So it really started young for me.
That's really cool. I mean, I come from the same thing. I had a dad and uncles, you and I talked about this before, who raced. So I mean, I got into it at a very young age, and once it's in your blood, I mean, it's very hard to stay away from racing. It's just it's something that you really enjoy doing.
Absolutely, yeah. I never thought it would ever leave me. It's kind of born. I like to say I was born with it, So
Absolutely.
it's all I've ever wanted to do.
I hear you with that one. Well, I gotta ask, when did you start racing online?
So it's hard to tell. Really, I started online. I've been playing NASCAR games since NASCAR 1998.
Wow.
We had a wheel back then. Those on-off switch pedals and no force
No
feedback.
kidding.
Just playing around.
Right.
PS1. I was a PlayStation player back then. And then I played up through all the games there. Went to PS2. And that was right about the time they started doing online. Didn't do anything serious with it. Was just trying to check it out.
Right.
And then I did PS3 all the way up to NASCAR Heat actually. Did some online racing there, nothing competitive, but definitely did a lot more of it. And then as soon as NASCAR Heat came around, I couldn't afford the PlayStation 4, so I got an Xbox One and got on that and played online a lot after doing career modes because it was kind of like the ritual for me. I had to get through at least a season of career.
Nice.
And then I started joining leagues because I didn't know what it was, and somebody scouted me and said, "Hey, you seem like you could join our league," and I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
And they kind of explained it to me. I'm like, "Hey, people actually like hang around and do this organized. Like, this is cool. I like this."
Right.
And and it was just some guy that had a league of like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
And we raced like 20 races with 4 people, and it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I always wanted to win every week, and I didn't know what kind of cars they were bringing. And then it just kind of progressed from there.
Nice. Yeah, so you were actually started out on PlayStation, came over to Xbox. That's kind of crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was interesting. I had a different gamer tag, and I honestly don't even remember what it was on PlayStation. It was, I think it was something I made like way back when I was probably in middle school or something. So it was
Oh,
probably
wow.
something really embarrassing, but um,
I would
I
love to
had.
know.
Oh yeah, I'll have to dig that up for you. It's pretty funny.
Absolutely. All right, so I know you own a league. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, one of the first leagues I ever joined, it was like four people that were running in it, and this one guy was running it, and then he ended up um, getting a lot of life things in the way, so he couldn't run it anymore, and
Mm-hmm.
they kind of were trying to figure out who could lead it, and I've led a lot of things in my personal life, so I kind of stepped up and I was like, hey, I wouldn't mind taking over, and I kind of know the inner workings, so and I can figure out whatever needs to be figured out, and they were like, that's fine with us, like let's keep it going. And I told them, when I get involved in something, I tend to, go all out.
Right.
So I told them I wanted to expand and make it better, and they were pretty much all on board.
That's
So
awesome.
I put a lot of work in, and over the past, well, since July, we had four members last year in July.
Mm-hmm.
And from then to now, we've grown over 50 drivers, a couple announcers. Uh, we went from like 20 race schedules to 30 race schedules. Um, we give away trophies now.
That's crazy.
Um, we have a lot of I have a lot of people that have helped me organize it. We got people doing graphics design. We have social media now.
Yeah.
That was never a thing because believe it or not, we ran our entire league off of the Xbox chat. So people would send messages and say, "Here's the points. Like, here's the next race." There would be a schedule at some point that you take a screenshot of.
I've been there.
But
I've been there.
yeah, oh yeah, it's scary, to think now. Like, how did we ever do it? But
Right?
now we have a Facebook, a Twitter, a YouTube, a Twitch.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, but just like little bits, just saying, hey, this week I want to add this to the league.
Right.
I want to make it a little bit more realistic.
That's
Um,
really cool.
and right now it's been wonderful. I mean, the drivers really love it. We don't, we still have a couple of our original members that have seen it
Mm-hmm.
grow, but everybody's having a great time. We've had some amazing races. Um, it's been such a cool experience through the whole thing, and as a league owner, I have a lot more stress on me and a lot of work that I
Right.
have to put in, but it's totally worth it to see what happens on race day.
That's really cool. And speaking of race day, as a driver, what is your favorite track? And what's your least favorite?
So as a driver and as a fan, probably definitely different. As far as the driver's concerned, I'm a short track guy for
Nice.
sure.
Yeah.
So tracks like Bristol and Martinsville are definitely my favorite. Probably Martinsville will still have my heart, but as far as NASCAR Heat 4 is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
I do like Bristol because of just it's so much more drivable in the last game.
It is. Yeah.
Martinsville, we do race on 3 times wear in the league, so when we went there, the tire wear was horrendous. So it kind of, even though I love the track to death, it's been a little bit more difficult to drive than
Mm-hmm.
in the past. But I got in some custom setup races with it, which kind of fixes that a little bit. And but I'll always love those tracks. But the cool thing is now is was able to drive cup cars on other tracks. We got two new, as far as I consider, short tracks with
Right.
Gateway and Iowa. So
Absolutely.
honestly, anything under a mile and a half, I love. Those just seem to be the ones that work for me.
Right. So what's your least favorite?
Oh, I mean, I love all the tracks. That's a tough one. I can tell you my worst tracks. I guess not. I can't say a track is my least favorite, but
Mm-hmm.
um, tracks that I've struggled at have been Auto Club, Texas, Charlotte. Seems like a lot of the mile and a half.
Yeah.
Kansas, I'm okay. The road courses have been really good to me
Nice.
recently, so I can't really take those out. But yeah,
Right.
some of those tricky mile and a half get me.
Gotcha. I mean, it's very dependent on draft and what you can do around people. So
Yeah.
a lot of people do enjoy the short tracks and road courses. It really shows your talent and what you can do out there solo. So I
Yeah.
can't say I blame you there. So
Yeah,
as it
I'm definitely a fan of driver's tracks for sure.
right, absolutely. I know that from you. All right, what can a team expect from you if you are chosen?
Well, I think I can offer a lot to a team. I think my strongest characteristic is my determination. So, um, unfortunately, I didn't even know what was going on when the first season of the Pro League happened.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I was just league racing. Had just found out what that was, and didn't even know what was going on with that. Didn't know how to start. I just figured people just got selected randomly, and that was that.
Yeah.
So, but as soon as I found out what it was watching the streams and found out there was going to be a season 2. I figured, this has been my favorite game in the world, throughout my life, and racing has always been a huge thing for me. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to, yet at least, make it in the real racing world. So I wanted to try to make a virtual career. And so I put everything into it, and I was determined that I was going to get to this point, whatever means necessary. So I just put in the practice, the time. We watched millions of videos, and just trying to find out everything about the tracks that we were going to and how to get more speed, and learn custom setups too is a challenge, because
Right.
I
Yeah.
usually run preset setups. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a thing in itself. But I was determined that no matter what the challenge was, whether it was learning with a wheel or learning custom setups, I was going to do this. So that's one. I would say my other one stands out, I guess, is my my set of morals and values that I have. I'd like to consider myself a pure driver, meaning that like I I have a lot of respect for those that I race with, and I'd rather wreck myself than other people. So
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with it in league racing because I know a lot of people don't share this characteristic, but
Right.
I've had a lot of discussions with even people in my own league that if I'm on a team with somebody, my job as a teammate is not just to run well and run good for the team, but it's also to protect my other teammates from myself. So
Absolutely.
that meaning, like, if our team is trying to get the team championship and my teammate is behind me in stage 1 and we're coming a couple laps to go, and I'm a little bit faster, but if they pass me, then it's going to help them and help us in general. I'm going to take it a little easy on them.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to race them aggressively. So I think that, just having that kind of respect, I think sets me apart, because that's how I was raised. I'm not a mischievous person. I will never cheat or lie to people. I'm straight up. Everybody knows exactly how I feel about them going
Right.
in.
It's important characteristics to have, like everything that you mentioned. I mean, it's a team effort, and you have to run it straight. You have to keep the team in mind and run a clean race. Otherwise, you're not going to get very far.
Exactly. And the other thing too is I think I have a lot of mental strength, because as we all know, this, very well, is that when you get in a heated race, especially ones, I think this comes out when that you have a possibility to win, because we all know that we're not going to win every race, and we're not going to win close to every race. But
Mm-hmm.
when we get in a position where we know we have the car and the strategy to win this race, and then something goes wrong or something derails it or inhibits it, like, that's frustrating. And a lot, or even, when you're fast, but like say you get turned on lap 2. Um, a lot of guys in my league struggle with this, is that they just want to give up right there.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that, down the line there could be a caution. You could get back on the lead lap. Or
That's true.
B, you could just get those points. Even if you finish last place or third to last, you're still going to get points.
Right.
And if you just quit, there's the potential of getting nothing. So, you need to have that kind of resolve to finish the race. And especially when you have other drivers that may not share your values and morals, and they don't care what's going on, and they, race you aggressively or try to take you out, or, something like that, put you in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's frustrating. And I think, I feel like, me personally, I have that mental strength to not, door somebody back or take somebody else out just because they wronged me.
Right.
I just want to keep racing because
Absolutely.
that's what I love. When the emotions get involved, I think people lose their heads, lose their abilities. You
It's when
can't
you
drive
lose
a race car
focus.
mad.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. You said it. All right. Final
So, I think
question.
that.
Um, final question. I know you're on vacation, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. But what drives you to want to compete for the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, and what do you want to accomplish?
Well, I think, I did mention before that I try to excel in everything I do. I have put a lot of effort into racing games and NASCAR Heat especially. So my first goal was just to make the Pro League. So I am, past the first step of that, but I still got to get drafted. So, for the next couple weeks here, my real goal is to run some fast, clean races in the preseason races, show my talent, and try to impress the teams, and hopefully I can show them what they're looking for, and enough talent that I can get there. And if chosen, I plan to give all of my effort to that team for the season. I want to finish well, maybe even win some races. I mean, winning a race at that high level would be the ultimate dream. That
Oh,
would be
heck yeah.
huge. Just even um, finishing in the top 5 and running well is a win in my book. So if I get into the pro league, just trying to be consistent, trying not to make dumb mistakes, um, just trying to do the best for the team.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you guys heard it from MrSlideJob1996. You were on vacation, so enjoy the rest of your vacation, but thank you for coming in and giving an interview here. I really appreciate it. And a lot of luck to you next week going into the races. I believe next Wednesday, is the first race for these guys. So a ton of luck to everyone. And hopefully we'll see you on a team soon.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really, really feeling confident about this first race. Being an Alex Bowman fan, Chicagoland is a special place for me. So I expect to do well. I'm getting the car ready, and yeah, we should have a great showing. And the even better announcement is that I just found out today that I will be driving the '88 Chevy in the preseason qualifier on Wednesday.
Awesome.
So
It's always
just
good
an
when you get
extra
to drive
boost.
your car.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll drive any car they give me, but that will always be my car. So
Yeah.
just going in with that, I can't wait. But yeah, I will definitely enjoy the rest of this vacation. I appreciate you talking to me, and I'd like to say good luck to all my other competitors out there. We're gonna put on a show for sure, and
Absolutely.
if I could have one more second, I just want to thank everybody that's helped me get to this point. all the guys in WCRL have helped me out, just racing with me week in and week out, sometimes 3 times a week. Just all that practice, and also a couple guys, Team Swish and JP Big Dogs, helping me out with setups. We kind of had a little pro league qualifier team going, and we did really well. And I feel bad that they didn't make it, but they've been supportive so much, and even now.
Right.
So those guys are really big reason why I'm here, and also other racers like yourself and some of these season 1 guys. They've been such a big help. I'd like to thank all those guys.
Well, you have a couple of people out there saying good luck moving on, and you have someone that actually lives quite close to you out there, so that's pretty cool. They know exactly where that is, so it can't be too terribly small, but a lot of luck to you, and it's really cool to have you here.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your vacation. Absolutely. Take it easy. All right, guys, we're gonna go racing. Who's ready to go racing? That was Mr. Slide Job, a great guy. I wish him a ton of luck moving on. It's gonna get crazy. Next Wednesday is the first race. We're gonna start racing though. Let's get in this party.